I'm Kevin Pula with the National Conference of State Legislatures Transportation Team. I'm here with Don Hunt, the former Executive Director of the Colorado Department of Transportation. Don Hunt, I want to thank you for coming and joining us today in Seattle and talk about transportation.
Glad to be here, Kevin.
So we're just going to start with a hot topic that everyone, it's across all state houses and the federal side. Is the gas tax dead?
The gas tax is not dead. I think the fact that a number of states have acted on increasing the gas tax in the last 2-3 years demonstrates it's still a good source, but it does have its limitations. And 10 years out, I think we better be looking for some alternatives.
What are those alternative funding sources that you think we need to be looking at in the next decade or now even?
Sure. I'm of the philosophy that we really need to stick with some kind of user fee, user charge related to transportation. If we throw transportation into the general fund with everything else, I'm not very optimistic about. We already don't take very good care of our transportation system. So I think it has to be some kind of new user fee. That could be a road user charge or mileage-based fee. It could be increased tolling. And a few people are talking that there's a component of the sales tax that really is related to transportation. That might be a source.
Okay. So you mentioned tolling. Is tolling and congestion or congestion pricing, is it logistically the easiest way to pay for transportation? Do we need to tie use to the funding? Do we need to have user fees? Or is, like you said, a sales tax which you think is logistically the best way to go?
Well, I would have to say a road user charge or tolling not only is directly related to how many miles that people travel, so it's very directly a user charge, but it has some ability to also congestion price and increase charges during peak periods and see if you can't get some people to travel off peak or use an alternative form of transportation.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now for legislators, state legislators in particular, how can they make the case for that user charge? Or tolling has a bad public image in a lot of places. How do they make the case for this potential switch to the public and to their constituents?
Boy, if I could answer that one, I could go all over the country and be a consultant on that very topic. I think it's a matter of education. It's so hard to get people interested in transportation and really understand the predicament that we're in, that really any country that is based on the gasoline tax really needs to think about a different way to tax for transportation projects. I think that what Oregon is doing with the road user charge, where they actually have a pilot program with 5,000 people, legislators directly involved, can demystify part of many of the issues. Still a tall order.
Mm-hmm. So let's shift gears a little bit. Where does traffic safety fit into the transportation funding conversation?
Well, safety is incredibly important. We still kill over 30,000 people a year on our highways. We still have one of the highest fatality rates of any country in the world per vehicle mile traveled. We need to continue to make sure that a segment of our funding is dedicated to safety. It's very easy to go do new capacity projects and forget about taking care of where the safety problems are. I think that that's one area that the federal government has been a very strong leader, and obviously the car manufacturers with the Highway Safety Administration have made vehicles a lot safer. But at this point, vehicle safety seems like it's done about as much as it can without another round of technology. Unfortunately, fatalities per mile traveled, that we've kind of leveled off. The improvements we've seen over the last 10 years seem to be over until we get a new round of technology.
So that a new round of technology you're alluding to, that's the automation of vehicles, and is that what you mean?
Absolutely. Automation and connectivity of vehicles. The promise that those two technologies hold for safety and eventually for increasing capacity on highways, giving people other options in the way they travel, it's absolutely incredible. We see some of the early glimmers of that right now with Car2Go and the ability to manage a car fleet rideshare fleet, know where that car is, and keep people happy who are members. Uber using technology to match up people who need a ride with drivers who want to drive. And that's just the beginning as we connect cars so that they can talk to one another, talk to infrastructure, and then of course automation, where more of the vehicle function is taken away from really the worst solution of all, human beings as drivers. We are going to see great increases in safety.
I would love to ask you and see if you had the answer of how public officials can make the case to the public that this technology is safe, and that I think that there might be a distrust at the beginning of a robot or a car, computer system driving my car. Do you have any ideas or pearls of wisdom about how to make the case to the public? Do the numbers speak for their own?
I think, Kevin, it's going to be a long time before cars are totally automated, and certainly that's the approach that Google is taking. They believe they can design a totally automated vehicle. And in fact, they have one. In fact, they have it running around Mountain View, California right now, but they've had to, in order to satisfy California regulators, they've had to install a steering wheel that they didn't have designed. They've had to install an accelerator and a brake pedal in it and put a driver behind the wheel. But they feel that they are very close to having what is a relatively, or a very safe vehicle, but it only can operate up to about 25 miles per hour. Then on the other hand, I think the car manufacturers are going to take a much more incremental approach, adding these automation features like lane departure warnings, auto braking, variable cruise control, one at a time. And it'll probably be this kind of layering of options and pricing, and it'll take 10 or 15 years, and it'll just be assimilated into the way we drive. It will approach full automation, but not be total automation.
All right, so what I want to do next is a lightning round of sorts. So
Okay.
I'm just I got a series of questions, just a yes or no, maybe a couple seconds of explanation, but to start off, we'll get personal. My wife and I are expecting a baby in about 3 weeks, our first daughter. Do I need to worry about her ever having a driver's license, or will a car drive her herself?
First of all, congratulations. Second of all, I think that if she lives in an urban area, she may never have to get a driver's license. I think there'll be so many different options by the time she turns 16. But I think that if she wants to get out of the immediate area and have the kind of freedom that driving can give you, she's probably still going to need a driver's license. So it'll be a lifestyle choice.
I'll put you on the spot. What year will an automated vehicle take me to work? Fully automated.
Fully
vehicle.
automated, no driver, will take you to work in 2030.
Will America ever have a robust high-speed rail system?
America will never have a high-speed rail system outside of the Washington, D.C. to Boston corridor.
Do you think VMT per capita is going to increase, decrease, or stay the same in the next 10 years?
VMT per capita has been decreasing. I think it is now leveled off. And if I had to predict whether it was going to go up or down, I think it'll go back up a little bit, just a little bit.
In 20 years, will a personal automobile have a steering wheel?
In 20 years, a personal automobile will still have a steering wheel. It will be highly automated, but will still have a steering wheel. I think the steering wheel-less vehicles will belong to fleet operators and car services.
Okay, will those vehicles that don't have a steering wheel, will they have a windshield?
I think in 20 years they'll still have a windshield.
Okay.
They may have a card table in the middle, I don't know, but there'll still be windows.
This is the hardest question of all, or maybe the easiest, so depending on your opinion. Will we have a long-term transportation bill in 2015 at the federal level?
As much as I would like to say yes, I'm going to have to say no.
2016?
2016, I still say no.
Okay.
I have a lot of faith in state legislators, but Congress is pretty tough to believe in right now for transportation.
All right. Well, that's all I have today. Thank you for
Hey, thank you. I enjoyed it.